Well, we're here today with Gio Sordoni, co-founder and COO of XOS Inc. Gio, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Sure. Well, let's get right into it. Gio, tell us about XOS. What's your mission? What are you guys up to? What's your goal?
XOS is an OEM of electric vehicles that focuses entirely on making that transition for fleets from diesel to electric as easy and painless as possible. So in addition to building trucks and some of the components that go into the trucks like batteries, we also help our fleets with getting chargers installed and helping to maintain and operate that equipment over time.
Great, and your focus is what, class 5 to 8?
Exactly, yeah. So we're in the medium and heavy range of electric vehicles, focus on class 5, delivery vans, for example, all the way up to class 8 regional haul or short haul vehicles.
Okay. Why don't you give us an update on like fleet customers and progress towards manufacturing, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So on our class 5 platform is what we're in production on now, and our class 5-6 platform. So they're parcel delivery vans for companies like FedEx or the folks that carry for FedEx. And those are being built today in Tennessee at Flex 1, which is our first Flex manufacturing facility there, as well as Flex 2, which is in Monterrey, Mexico. And the customers that we're working with all have a few things in common. They do 200 miles or less in a given day. They return to the same home base at night, so we can help them install chargers at home rather than having to try to replicate the, put a gas station on every corner model. And that's really helpful. And there's some predictability in their routes. Our customers know where they're going more or less every day, so there's not a huge amount of range anxiety. So for a lot of times, our customers are only looking for 100 miles of range on a vehicle, but with our modular battery system, we can give them more than that. We can go up to about 200 miles today with current battery technology.
Okay, great. Actually, you talked about Flex 1 and Flex 2. I think it maybe speaks to your production model. Can you maybe talk about your production model and how it might be different in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of building one massive manufacturing plant that we spend, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars on, a stamped facility and robotic welding and all of these things that make traditional automotive manufacturing extremely capital intensive, we decided that there should be a better way of building commercial vehicles. So rather than one massive plant, we have smaller, more nimble facilities that are faster to stand up and take a lot less capital on the ground in the early days. So we don't have a million square foot facility that we're only using a small fraction of. Instead, right now we have two smaller facilities that are less than 200,000 square feet where we're building vehicles today, and we'll soon be building batteries in Flex 1 as well. And that allows us to be a little more nimble, set up the factories more quickly, and to distribute that manufacturing. So we can work with our supply chain and make sure that we're assembling our chassis systems, for example, closer to where the bodies get installed to save that shipping cost of going back and forth across the country with something pretty large.
Sure, okay. And you work with various upfitters as well for the bodies, correct?
Exactly, yeah. So we focus, at least on the products that we have out in the market today, we focus on that platform. So you can think of it as an electric skateboard platform, if you will, where it's an XOS designed chassis. So it's not an upfit, it's actually their own chassis.
Yeah,
with our powertrain system in there. So XOS batteries installed on the vehicle. It's actually a fully drivable vehicle just without a seat and a body before it goes to a body installer like a Morgan Olson, for example, who builds a lot of the parcel delivery bodies for companies like FedEx and UPS and others. We also work with different specialty body manufacturers. We just put out a video about our partnership with Site Manufacturing, which focuses on armored bodies for one of our customers, Loomis, that does cash in transit. And the interesting and important thing is that Loomis and a FedEx ISP would use the same exact XOS medium duty X platform underneath their vehicle, but with a different body installed on top of it.
Okay, great. You touched on the next question, but when we look at the market for commercial electric vehicles, I mean, it's really heating up. I mean, you've got OEMs in the space and you certainly got a lot of independent manufacturers. I mean, like, Where do you guys see yourself fitting in this market and carving out your niche, so to speak?
Yeah, in that medium and heavy duty segment, it's already a bit of a niche on its own, right?
Yeah.
We see a lot of activity in the Class 2 van space. I think those are the platform that the large OEMs are going to want to electrify first. The Ford Transit, for example, is something that it seems like Ford is going out there first in the commercial vehicle space. Of course, there's a ton of activity in pickup trucks. So already just being 5 and up focus is a bit of a niche, but we're one of the few companies out there that are delivering production vehicles today with a custom design and built battery pack that's purpose built for the commercial vehicle use case. It's not a passenger car pack that we're trying to make work on a truck. And the chassis platform itself was designed to be electric from day one. It's not an existing gas or diesel platform that we're trying to adapt to an electric use case. We actually spent, since we started the company more than 5 years ago, spent a lot of our time in developing purpose-built technology for commercial trucks. And so that gives us a little bit of an advantage in terms of being ahead of the market with solutions that were designed to be electric in the early days.
Sure. Talking to fleet managers, to a person, you ask them what's the toughest challenge, and they'll say infrastructure, with that kind of 1,000-yard stare, right? It's really not the vehicle. But you said you're actually helping fleets in that regard. How do you see the infrastructure market really kind of shaping up where you sit?
Yeah, we get excited when the fleets that we're working with already know that infrastructure is the biggest challenge, because there's, I think, still some education in the market that needs to happen, where people will come to us and say, hey, I want X number of electric trucks this month. And we say, okay, but we need to get chargers installed at your home base so that they have a place to plug in. And it's really not a technical challenge. The charging hardware exists. We know how to distribute power. Often there's already power at a building, but what can take time is upgrading that service. So if you're at a building like ours, we might have 2,000 amps from the local utility, and we're already using a lot of that, and our customers are already using a lot of their power for conveyor belts and HVAC and things like that. But if they want to go beyond their existing power capacity and have more power service come in from the utility, that could be a process that could take months, sometimes even more than a year, depending on how big they want to go. So it's a lot of planning that needs to happen ahead of time. We like to start those conversations with our fleet customers day one, so that they're thinking about charging and that we have time to get chargers installed before the vehicles are ready. So that's a really important piece of what we do. We recognize that there might be a gap sometimes between when a customer says, yes, I need 50 chargers installed at my facility, and being able to get that power upgrade from their utility.
Sure.
So we came out with a product and launched it last year called the XOS Hub. And what that is a mobile charging station. So it's essentially chargers and some energy storage on wheels that we can come drop off at a customer's facility. You can think of it as a trickle charge. So we do plug it into their local grid infrastructure, but it doesn't take a massive amount of power.
Okay.
So that's trickle charging throughout the day. When the trucks come in after their day of going out and delivering packages, for example, we can charge, say, 5 vehicles into that mobile charging station at once to help bridge that gap between I've got no charging infrastructure to I'm able to charge 50 trucks at a time with my given utility service.
Let's just talk real briefly, and a couple more questions here. Sales and service network, really important component for commercial vehicle sales and service. How are you handling it?
Yeah, so being that we started the company as people who had experience in operating fleets, we knew that this was paramount and something that we really, really needed to get right in the early days. So number one, there should be fewer items to service an electric vehicle. And our customers understand that and are excited about that. But we absolutely need to have as robust of a service capability in place, if not better, than in traditional internal combustion vehicles. And so we're doing a hybrid approach where we'll help support our customers and be the kind of first line of defense if something goes wrong. We have deeper diagnostic capabilities than some traditional vehicles out there, where we can see and pinpoint what's going wrong with the vehicle and hopefully predict issues before things go wrong. But beyond that, we have a network of incredible partners that we've announced. So some of our dealer partners like Thompson, Yancey, the MHC group, which we announced last week, a partnership with them. They'll help take care of our vehicles in the field, in their local territories. And then we also have some mobile maintenance partners like Dickinson Fleet Services that are experts in actually sending a technician out to where the vehicle is, rather than having to bring the vehicle into a dealer. So it's really a kind of full court press strategy where we have support both on the XOS side as well as through partners that give us that nationwide coverage.
Sure. Okay, great. Oh, last question. I mean, a lot of disruption, a lot of excitement in the independent electric vehicle market for commercial vehicles. Why should fleets go with XOS?
Absolutely. So returning to some of what we talked about earlier, we're one of the few companies that's actually delivering production vehicles, and we have been for years. So we've learned a lot about some of the early kinks as far as technology goes, but also servicing and supporting vehicles in the field. That's led us to a really robust and road-tested product. So that's number one. We also take a deeper cut when it comes to the technology in the vehicle. We focus a lot on having a custom electric vehicle platform, having a custom battery system for our vehicles, and all of our own controls and software on the vehicle. So we have a technology advantage over the competition, and actually have vehicles in the market today. And so I think that puts us in a really strong position to help meet some of the fleets that have really aggressive targets when it comes to electrifying their fleets.
Sure. Well, Gio, thank you so much for the conversation. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.
Thanks.